Hi class, and welcome to EdVantage. I'm Virginia, and today I'm going to be talking about some tips for you for the whole semester. If you watched my last video, it was tips for the first day or first week, but this is going to be now expanded to the semester. So what can you do to have a successful semester? Hopefully you will watch that other video on the first week. So the first thing that I would like to tell you is to schedule time. We're all busy, you have jobs probably, you have things to do at home, and so that takes up a lot of your time. But I would make sure to schedule time, not just for your class, but also for the homework and your studying. If you make an appointment with yourself, it's easier to keep that than just saying in your mind, oh, I have to study this week, okay? So one of the things that I advise is to either purchase a monthly or a daily planner, or use your cell phone for planning your classes and your homework time and your study time, okay? I still do the old-fashioned paper. I do use my calendar on my cell phone, but I really like to see my month in review, and it's easier for me to do it on paper. So that's one suggestion that I have. Another one is, again, schedule your study and homework time as you would any appointment you have with the doctor or anything, okay? Make it important that you need to do. Don't wait until the last minute either to complete your homework. We don't want you procrastinating, because that's really hard to be successful when you do that. And a lot of us do that, okay? And believe me, your instructor will know when you're putting together something at the last minute, because it does show. Also, the recommended time for most 3-credit classes, okay, it's going to be 6 to 9 hours a week for one class. So you can see how if you're a full-time student and you're taking 12 to 15 hours, what are you doing with the other 15, 20 hours, right? You should be studying and doing homework. So again, 6 to 9 is the average, and if you Google that, that's what you're going to find per class. So remember, these are for academic classes, and so the requirement for the hours to study is a lot more, because these are more intense. So remember that academic classes require more time. So depending on how much effort you put in, that's going to determine the amount of success you're going to have in class. So for ESL, for example, I've known students that have become proficient within a year and a half, but they were so dedicated and put in a lot of time. On average, it takes about 3 to 5 years to become proficient and fluent in any language. So just remember that, okay? The second thing is find a good location to study. Some people can study at home and do their homework, but if you have a lot of things that distract you at home, then the suggestion would be to find a place outside of your home that you can complete your homework, okay? So again, you don't want it to be distracting with lots of noises. Quiet, not too noisy, okay? Now some people say that they can study better when they listen to music, and that's fine, but again, loud music may not be very helpful to your study, okay? So find something that works for you. You want a place that's comfortable, not too comfortable where you're falling asleep, okay? But something comfortable that's going to help you study, okay? So it may take some time to find that perfect cafe for you, or a really perfect spot at the library that you enjoy sitting there to study, but it's worth taking that time to do so, okay? So again, find that good location to study. 3, get involved. So this is important too for success in your classes. Learn about any clubs or organizations that are on campus, but also in the community that you would like to be involved, okay? Many of them are free for you to join. Some of them may have a little bit of a membership price. Again, you need to do some research on that, but joining clubs and organizations will allow you to meet other people. You get to network if it's in the community. You're volunteering and doing something really good for the community and for yourself. You're making friends, you're speaking English, so you're really getting in a lot of practice. I highly recommend it. That's one of the most important things to do, okay? So again, get involved in your community, join clubs and organizations, because that's going to help you, okay? It may seem like this is more work and that you don't have the time, but again, it's going to benefit your English skills, and you never know, you may meet somebody that is going to have an impact in your future career. So think about that. That ties into number 4, get to know important people, okay? This is on your campus too. Talk to your instructors, get to know them a little bit, okay? Go meet them in their office. That's really important because it builds a connection there. And if your instructors get to know you a little bit, they may be able to offer suggestions and recommendations for you for your future goals and careers, okay? So think about that. That's really important. Meet with your advisor on a regular basis, because again, they have connections and they know a lot of what you need to do if you're planning to transfer to a university or you're trying to get a job in a certain area. So check in with them on a regular basis. Get to know your classmates. Don't sit isolated by yourself. Move around. You don't have to sit in one place every class, okay? So meet some of the people. You may make a friend, and again, it's making those connections. It's networking, okay? Your librarians, those are good people to know too. So go in there, ask some questions if you can't find things that are in the library, but they also have connections and know where to research for what you need. Okay, so talk to them too. Remember, meeting people helps improve your English. Since this is a language class, this is really important. If you're always by yourself and you're only talking when you have to, you're going to feel isolated and lonely, and your English is not really going to improve that much. So please think about that. Get to know people. 5, read. It's really unbelievable how many people don't want to read. They don't like to read. They will only read what they have to for the class. But I really strongly suggest that you read as much as you can outside of class. So there's a really good site called The Great American Read, and they have a list of the top 100 most loved books in America. And a lot of these are classics. So if you read them, they're going to do several things for you when you read. One, of course, is going to build your vocabulary, but it's also going to give you some cultural understanding about whatever the topic is in the book. It can be about American culture or things here in the United States, like John Steinbeck. He's excellent. A lot of people know him in the United States because they've had to read his novels, and they're short. So it's very doable for ESL students. Reading also builds better writing skills, okay? Because you're going to see grammar used appropriately. You're going to see language being used in different ways. So again, it builds really good writing skills for that. And it shows you how to use new words correctly, okay? And it gives you lots to talk about with other people. Because if other people have read that same popular book, then you can have conversations with them. You can give them your opinions and your thoughts about these topics. So it's really good to read. It gives you really good background and knowledge. I can't stress reading enough. Even if you're not taking a reading class, read. And lastly, some tips for the semester. Again, life happens, things get in the way, emergencies come up, but always keep your instructor informed of what's happening. Again, don't wait until the last minute when there's really not much they can do to help you, okay? If you do it early, if you know something's coming up, plan ahead, speak to your instructor, see if there's anything that you can do in order to not have your grades suffer. More importantly, that your own learning doesn't suffer. That's really important. Okay, so I hope these tips have kind of helped Again, they were very general, and I'll be putting in more specific tips for listening and speaking, writing, and grammar. So look for those in the future. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.